mean, speaking of OnlyFans, you interviewed Celina Powell and Aliza, which ended up going viral because they claimed that they serviced 7 NBA players.
Well, not Celina, Aliza.
Oh, Aliza?
Celina wasn't around for that one, yeah.
Okay. What happened after all that? It seems like there was just a bunch of chaos. Because weren't you supposed to do like a podcast with them or something? What was the name of this podcast?
Yeah, they had a podcast. So we do one interview with them. That was maybe my 3rd interview with Celina, and it always would go viral. Like, everybody always would just be coming up to me, talking to me about that shit. People really are drawn to her, in particular when she's on No Jumper, for real. Because I see how her YouTube does, and it does fine. But then she comes on No Jumper, and it just goes crazy every time. I don't know. Maybe it's the dynamic of me and her, and I feel like she felt like she was kind of running out of her fucking slut stories to tell, so she brings her friend Aliza with her.
Slut story.
Because, I guess Celina didn't have a sucking off 7 NBA players story, so she brings Aliza through. Aliza tells a story. I think part of it was the way that she told the story like it was no big deal, and everybody would just think it was some regular shit, and we're all watching it just I'm doing the interview just jaw dropped, wow, you're really telling us about this. You're telling us the team. This is crazy. And then
what team was it?
The Suns.
Okay. Allegedly.
And she named the players too. I don't really know about basketball, but she was listing off players in the Instagram comments too. So
in the comments.
It was a few years ago, yeah. But then so we decided, let's just make this a weekly thing. We'll give them a podcast. It'll be called Thots Next Door. That was their idea. And they did a couple episodes, and I guess I just kind of underestimated the extent to which giving her a show would change the way that people viewed me doing content with her so much, because it went from this is a person that Adam does podcasts with occasionally to Adam is setting up a platform for these girls to destroy black men. And it got kind of it got a little consistent with that, where they have the Odell Beckham shit that they're talking about him. They're talking about.
So tell me, what exactly did they say about Odell Beckham Jr.?
Well, it wasn't even them. It was they brought on Slim Danger, who's Chief Keef's baby mama, one of Chief Keef's many baby mamas.
Yeah, I think have I met her? No. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't Tekashi take her on the shopping spree back in the day or something?
Was that her? I don't know. I honestly couldn't say, but they had her on, and she had a bunch of shit to say about Odell Beckham.
Yeah, it was her.
It was her, okay. And, I wasn't even on that podcast. I'm sort of in the other room listening. And it just very quickly, them doing the podcast was starting to get the brand of this is this platform for these girls to just tear down successful black men. And, it was one thing when they were saying shit about Trey Songz. Maybe people don't necessarily aren't that likely to feel bad for Trey Songz.
Right. And I just want to say with the Trey Songz thing, I remember seeing that back and forth. He posted up their text messages.
Right.
And it showed that she wasn't really being honest in the way she was telling that story.
And to be honest, the media kind of twisted her version of the story because she was never really on there acting like a victim. She if you actually listen to her, she's talking about, she's talking about getting peed on and all this shit, but she was never saying that he forced her or anything. She was just saying that she did it and that she was along for the ride, and then apparently she felt like exposing him afterwards. But the way that people perceived her saying stuff about Trey Songz versus the way that people perceived her saying shit about Odell, who has a fairly clean image and whatnot.
What exactly did she say about Odell?
I don't remember. I don't want to rehash it.
All right, fine.
It's that.
People can go look it up. They can do their Googles.
Because I don't know if it's true, and I don't fucking.
Okay,
I ultimately felt like. And also, it's when I talk about AD, I talk about there's other people involved in No Jumper and stuff now. And at a certain point, these things kind of reflect on other people within it. And it very much we got a shitload of views that month from them doing the podcast. People were going crazy for it. I just kind of realized this is not worth it to me. I would much rather run a platform that has a more moderate pace of growth than to sort of involve myself in this constant drama that was going to follow me if we kept doing that,
No, I feel you. Listen, did we do these types of interviews early on with Vlad TV? Yes, we did. They're still on our platform. But at some point, you're like, it's kind of like a low-hanging fruit situation where like, look, we could interview these girls or these guys that are going to spill the tea about their personal relationships and stuff like that, you know, but it's not the type of thing that we want to be known for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just not the type of thing that we want to constantly put out. Now, you know, are we going to interview the Tupac rape accuser? Yes, because that's a historically important story.
Right. Even the Sarah Molina thing, it's like
Sarah Molina,
she has an important story to tell.
It's an important story that ties. She's the baby mother. She's not
Mm.
just a girl who had sex with a rapper and is now trying to get 5 minutes of fame. She has a baby with Tekashi who's in prison, and you know she's revealing him cooperating and the whole story and everything else like that. There's a historical importance to that. Is there anything historically important about a girl who, you know, slept with the baby? No, there isn't. There isn't. Even if it's true, there isn't.
I get those DMs all the time, like, yo, I fucked so-and-so, give me an interview.
Yeah, I get them all the time too, and I turn them down. Turn them down. You know, we don't do porn stars anymore.
Mm.
You know, I just refer them to you. Like, yo, go do No Jumper. That's their thing. But that's more their thing because you actually are more involved in the porn industry and everything else like that. So it'd be a better place for, you know, for this group of people anyways.
Mm.